I still remember the exact moment my heart cracked wide open. It was a Tuesday morning in our cramped conference room, the kind of room where dreams go to quietly die under fluorescent lights. I'd been with the company for 5 years. Loyal, early mornings, late nights, the whole thing. Alex was the boss, the man everyone called visionary. To me, he was more. He was my fiancé. We kept it quiet at work, but every stolen glance across the table reminded me we were building a life together. That day, the team was tense. Inflation was squeezing everyone. I'd prepared my numbers, rehearsed my words all weekend. When the budget discussion came around, I spoke up, voice steady, even though my hands trembled under the table. Alex, with everything costing so much more now, could we look at adjusting the salaries just to keep up with the economy? He leaned back in his leather chair, that familiar smirk curling at the corner of his mouth, the one I used to think was charming. The room went silent. He looked straight at me, loud enough for everyone to hear. Economy? This is all you get. Don't complain. This is all you can handle. The words landed like ice water. My cheeks burned. A few colleagues dropped their eyes to their laptops. No one spoke. I forced a small nod, swallowed the lump in my throat, and pretended it was just business. But inside, something shifted. I told myself it was stress, that he didn't mean it the way it sounded. What I didn't know was that this single smirk was only the first thread unraveling everything I thought I knew about them. That night, I went home early, stomach in knots. Alex texted he'd be late, another client dinner. I tried to shake it off, made tea, curled up on the couch, but the words kept echoing. This is all you can handle, like I was some fragile thing he had to manage. The next morning, I arrived before anyone else, hoping to clear my head. That's when I heard it, his voice drifting from the supply closet, low and intimate. He wasn't on a client call. He was laughing softly, promising someone named Lila that the weekend getaway was already booked, that he'd take care of everything. My blood turned cold. Lila was the new junior designer he'd hired 3 months ago, the one he said was just talent. I stood frozen outside the door, phone recording every word without thinking. He stepped out, saw me, and didn't even flinch, just smiled like nothing happened and said, "Morning, babe, coffee run?" That was the moment the betrayal hit me full force. Not just the affair, the lies, the way he'd been quietly shifting company money into personal accounts while telling the entire staff we had to tighten belts because of the economy. I checked the books that afternoon when he was out. Luxury watches, secret hotel bookings, all disguised as marketing expenses, while the rest of us were told to make do. I cried in my car for an hour, shattered, broken in ways I didn't know were possible. How could the man who once said I was his everything treat me like I was disposable? The pain was so deep I could barely breathe. But somewhere between the sobs, something else stirred, quiet, burning anger. I wiped my tears, looked in the mirror, and whispered to myself, no more. I wasn't going to stay the woman he smirked at. I was going to become the woman he would never forget. I didn't scream. I didn't confront him that night. Instead, I spent the next 2 weeks moving in silence. Every late night he claimed was work, I was copying files, saving screenshots, recording every shady conversation I could catch. The staff noticed I was different, quieter, focused. A few whispered they were struggling too. I listened. I gathered their stories without saying why. Then came the annual all-hands meeting. The whole team packed into the room, 25 people, nervous about another round of cuts. Alex stood at the front, confident as ever, launching into his usual speech about tough economic times and how we all had to sacrifice. That smirk was back. I stood up slowly. My voice didn't shake this time. Before we talk sacrifice, Alex, there's something everyone should see. I connected my laptop to the projector. The first slide hit. Bank transfers, dates, amounts, his personal account. Gasps rippled through the room. Then the recordings played, his voice promising Leela the world while telling us this is all you get. The staff went completely speechless, mouths open, phones forgotten. Alex's face drained of color. He tried to laugh it off. This is taken out of context, but no one was laughing. One by one, people started speaking up. The quiet designer in the back said, "You cut my hours while booking 5-star hotels?" Another added, "We trusted you." The room turned into a wave of truth I never had to force. The investors watching remotely via video ended the call and immediately froze company accounts. By the end of the day, Alex was escorted out. The board asked me to step in as interim director. I said yes, not out of revenge, but because I finally understood my own worth. Months later, I still think about that smirk. It doesn't hurt anymore. It reminds me how small people try to make you feel when they're the ones who are scared. I run the team now with honesty and fairness. No more hidden luxuries while others struggle. The staff tells me they finally feel seen. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Never let anyone convince you that this is all you can handle. Your strength isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, patient, and unstoppable. When someone tries to shrink your world, remember you have the power to rebuild it bigger, brighter, and completely on your own terms. I did, and I've never felt more at peace.